Transmissions jammed. Proximity coverage only.
Hey guys, Jacob here. Today I'm going to be talking about how to make a healer build, and this is going to be covering the specialization you guys might want to use, some of the weapons, the gear sets and brand sets, and a few other things. First, if you guys are new, welcome to the channel. I upload daily Division 2 content on stuff like build videos, vendor resets, name gear, weapon reviews, and much more. But first, I'm going to start at the specialization, like I said, and this is where we're going to start off. The first two specializations you guys want to look at is going to be Survivalist and Technician. Survivalist is going to be the main one I would pick due to the fact that you're going to be getting the 15% increased outgoing healing, which will help your teammates. Also, you get the armor kits, which now repair over 5 seconds instead of instantly, but also apply to group members within 20 meters. And since you're Survivalist, you have access to the Mender Seeker mine that can follow you and also repair your armor. And you can see you get some mods here that increase the healing and the Seeker mine cooldown. Next is going to be the Technician, and for this, you don't really get much of a healing bonus. I mean, you can get a few things down here. You get the 10% skill healing, which is really cool. So if you guys do lack a skill tier as well, you will get a skill tier that helps you out. So if you need skill tier 6, you could run this, but I prefer the outgoing healing. And then the armor kits, when you apply to friendly skill proxies in 10 meters. But you do get a little bit of healing, so that's 10% skill healing. It's not a lot, but you will get a little bit of this if you have to use this to make up that skill tier. But those are the two specializations I would keep my eye on. Now for the weapons. There's not a lot of weapons compared to, like, say, DPS that give you damage, but there's going to be two I'm going to be talking about. I know there's probably a few others you guys might recommend me discussing, but these are going to be the main two that I'm going to discuss, and that's going to be the Talent Reformation. Headshot kills grant 30% skill repair for 15 seconds. So you guys can put this on any gun you want. I tend to use it on this SIG 716 to the fact that this one's almost god roll, and I haven't really rolled it yet, but I've been using it like this. And also it's a little bit easier to take out enemies if you're running all yellows, because this gun hits a little bit harder. It only holds 40 rounds in the magazine, but I can hit headshots with a rifle a little bit easier than I could if it was on, say, like an AR when I'm shooting distance. Because when I'm a healer, if you guys do not do this, which I do this, I recommend just trying to stay away as much as possible from the NPCs and let your teammates who have DPS do the work while you sit there and just keep them alive. So that's why I tend to use a rifle, so I don't have to be up in enemies' faces. And the next gun, which I will throw in here real quick because I know someone's going to ask about, is going to be the Mechanical Animal, which is Future Perfection, which is weapon kills grant 1 skill tier for 19 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. Weapon kills at skill tier 6 grant overcharge for 15 seconds. So if you want overcharge, I would recommend using these if you want to get a little bit more out of your healing on your stuff like your Restore Hive and your Chem Launcher. And that's going to be about it for the weapons. Now for some of the brand sets and gear sets. The first brand set I'm going to talk about is going to be Richter and Kaiser. This gives you 20% incoming repair, you get explosive resistance, and 20% repair skill. But just alone, to get to 20, you have to run all 3, so you guys might sacrifice a little bit of some of your gear if you want to get to this. But if it's all you have, you could make it work. But there's a few other options I will be talking about that you guys can use. But you can have, repair skill on here for 20%. Then you could have a mod that gives you 20%, but I have incoming repairs on here. So if you want that as well, to get a little bit more healing, then you could use that also. But keep this in mind, they did change how incoming repairs work. They're not like the previous update where you could just sit there and heal yourself like crazy. Now they work a little bit completely different. Next piece is going to be the Alps Summit. This is the 20% repair skill as the one piece. So just alone from running this backpack, you get 20% repair skill. So if you have a mod that's 20% and a roll that's 20%, you're getting 60% repair skill from just one piece alone. And if you have something like this Talent Safeguard, which is while at full armor increases total skill repair by 100%, which I highly recommend using if you guys are not using it at all. I think Safeguard is probably the main or one of the best talents for healers, and maybe even the best talent for healers in the game. At least that's what most people have asked. What's the main talent they use? They go with Safeguard because that gives you that skill repair by 100%. So if you're hiding behind a wall and you're sitting there throwing your hive out, healing your teammates, that's going to increase your skill repair by 100%. Next is going to be Murakami. This is the 2-piece, which gives you repair skill and skill duration. So it's not like 3 like the Richter and Kaiser. You'll have to run 2, so you get the 20% repair skill. And this has repair skill on it and repair skill on a mod, so you can get a decent amount of repair skill from Murakami as well. And this is the main talent that I hope you guys use on your healer builds, which is Empathic Resolve, which is repairing an ally increases their total weapon and skill damage by 3 to 15% for 20 seconds, 1 to 7 if self, effectiveness increase by your skill tier. Now, some people have been using Overwatch, which I can understand that because that gives you the skill damage and weapon damage, but this is more based on repairing, so this is why I'm using this. And also Overwatch, I've had some people say they use Perfect Overwatch, and this is on a red piece. I don't know why people do that. I mean, if you like using that, then go for it. But I think if you're going to be running a true healer build, this is probably a better bet because you're getting skill duration and repair skill, and you're also getting all yellows for repair skill and skill haste if you have it on there. I have stats effect, but I just think it's a little bit better of an option. And that's going to be about it for the chest piece. Now for gear sets. The main gear set, which I'm going to talk about, obviously, is going to be Future Initiative. And I'm going to get this out of the way right now. I'm not including the chest piece in the backpack because those are raid exclusives, and you can only get them from the raid. This is more based on for people who want to just make a healer build and have something that works to get through stuff like legendary missions, heroic, challenging, whatever you're trying to use this on. Or if you want to try using this on Iron Horse, which I know a lot of people have used some of these combos already. But the 2-piece gives you 30% repair skill right off the bat. Then you get the 3-piece, which gives you 15% skill haste and skill duration. I only have the 3-piece on here just to show you guys, just for an example, what it does. And then you have ground control, increases you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. When you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired for 60% of that amount. And then you'll see I have 20% repair skill on here in a skill tier. And yes, you do lose some attributes, but you get a lot of, just alone from the 2-piece. Then you have rolls on here, you're getting a crap ton of repair skill. And you don't even have to run the 3-piece. You could actually change this something to like Murakami, so you get even more skill repair if you wanted to get that. And another gear set you can use, which I would not recommend using for a true healer build if you're trying to go all into repair skill, is going to be Hardwired, because that's, skill haste, yeah, which really helps you. Then the 3-piece gives you skill damage repair skill, but you're pretty much sacrificing a few pieces of your yellow so you get 30% repair skill, and I just really don't think it's worth it. But you can use it if you want to have steal damage and repair at the same time. If you guys want to combine both those, you can. If you want to have a few pieces of Alps with Hardwire, or you can use some of Richter and Kaiser in Alps, and you could have some repair skill as well. Next, another thing you guys might want to use is going to be BTSU, because this is for the Hive, which I have Branch God Roll. This is 20% repair skill on here, which is Transfer Overclock, grants 15% Hive skill haste per skill tier. Detonating a Hive refreshes you and your skill cooldowns and grants overcharge for 15 seconds. If at skill tier 6, the effect also applies to all allies. Allies receiving this effect aren't able to benefit from, again, 120 seconds. So if you throw a Hive down and say your teammates have res Hives and they're all on cooldown and you break this, then it'll give the overcharge and give you guys your Hives back. So say you go down in a mission or like a legendary mission or a raid, then you'll get res back up and you'll be good to go because you have your res Hive again. Just keep that in mind. This might be something you guys might want to add to your build. And that's going to be about it for the brand sets and gear sets. Now to some of these skills. The main skill I'm using for at least on my healer builds is going to be the Restore Hive, because you can see right here alone, this isn't even a true healer build. It's already giving you 410,000 HP for healing. In the PvP healing, you're getting 250,000 HP. But I know a lot of you guys are going to be using this to farm missions and stuff like that. And I'll show you the tier 6, which is 20 repair charges, 120% healing, 120% range, 420 health, and 30% drone speed. And the overcharge, you guys can see right there, if you want to use a mechanical animal, it gives you a little bit more for stuff like the range and the drone speed goes to 100%. Next is going to be the Chem Launcher, which this gives you over, ally repairs 1,382,064 HP. And you can see the PvP repair, which is ally repair and overtime, 691,031 HP and 124,000 HP as well. And the tier 6 is a 120% heal, 60% radius, and 5 ammo. And you can get the 140% heal and 100% duration and 150% radius on the overcharge if you're using overcharge. Next up is going to be the Seeker Mine, and this is going to be for the Mender, and keep this in mind, you can only use this if you have the Survival Specialization, but it will give you 120% healing and 30% radius, and it gives you the PvP healing and the healing in general, which is 122,700 HP and 61,000 for PvP. The last item is going to be the drone, which is going to be the Fixer drone, which gives you 120,000 healing and you can see it's 120% armor repair and 420 health. And that's going to be about it for the Fixer Drone. So if you guys want to use the Fixer Drone or the Mender Mine to send after your teammates across a large area, that's what I think they're really good for. Same goes for the Chem Launcher if you have someone who's across the room or across, say, like the... I know some people are using this in the Iron Horse raid on Marzova, which is the final boss. So if you have to shoot across the field and hit one of your teammates and heal them, you can do that. One thing I would like to mention, because I know someone actually asked me about this on Xbox the other day, is if they're ever going to add, say, like the healing for the sticky. And I honestly don't know. I don't think anybody does. But it would be nice if we got something like that for the sticky, because, I mean, we have explosive, we have EMP, and we have burn. And there's only 3 here, so maybe we'll get a 4th one in the future that will give us healing, or potentially maybe even give us the defibrillator, so you can res your teammates like we could back in Div 1 when they were downed. One last thing I will talk about is going to be your Shade Watch. You can get the repair skill from your Shade Watch as well, which is only 10%, but every bit helps to keep your team alive, so you can get skill repair. And if you want to spec in a few other things like skill haste, skill duration, and skill damage, you can do so also. But it's only 10%, but it really helps. But that's about it, guys. I hope this video helped you guys out. I know it wasn't as long as the DPS build and wasn't as in-depth, but for DPS it's a little bit easier because there's a lot of things you can use to get damage and have your team give you damage, and there's a few other exotics as well, and same goes for weapon talents. But thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more Division 2 content, and I'll catch you guys all later.